Hello everybody and hi, my name is Kieran. Welcome to Interview with the Whisperer. I believe we play as a man who's traveled to the Galatian countryside to speak with a man who claims to have invented a radio that can talk to God. So, just an average summer project, I suppose. This game uses online functionalities to handle dialogue. Do not type any sensitive information. Am I forming the questions for the guy myself? I have no idea about how this game works. So let's go find out, shall we? What would you say to God should you have the chance to speak with them? Nah, too easy. God used to speak to us through burning bushes and hazy visions. Not anymore. They've upgraded their equipment. They make contact through shortwave radio. Could be funny, but I don't know. Maybe a biblical quote? Which one? Maybe this God is not even the father of Jesus to begin with. Maybe I just flown for 5 hours and drove 3 more into the Galatian countryside just to meet a senile old man spent too much time listening to the static. Yeah, that's probably gonna be it. Interview with the Whisperer. He explained it, I guess so. Knock. Manuel. This is the journalist who came to see you about your machine. Pay attention and be kind to them. I'm not hungry. Remedios! Excuse him. As you can see, Don Manuel has trouble focusing and following conversations. But if you are persistent enough, you will see this man is full of wisdom. That's all right. Donna. Remedios. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for your hospitality. I will handle it from here. Very well. I'll leave you two to it. I'll be tending to the cows if you need me for anything. Thank you so much. You better behave. You hear me, Manuel? Why don't you tell this person to behave instead, huh? I shouldn't do the accent. That could rub people the wrong way. Last one came by was a joke of a journalist. Good grief. It's all right, Donna. I'll be tactful. I'll come back at noon. Thank you. Give me a minute to review my notes. I'll set up a recorder and we can begin, Don Manuel. I've never gone hunting in my life. Even if my father was a fine hunter. So they say. It's nice. Okay, Donna wasn't exaggerating. This may be the trickiest interview I've ever attempted. Nonsense! Try to get as much interesting information as I can and call it a day when I find out enough to compose an article. Learn as much as you can from the special radio, how it works, how he made it, profile Manuel, background, career, assess his sanity. Dig as much as you can about his supposed God entity Manuel's contacted with. Try to gain access to the machine. Easy enough. After how much it took to get here, I'm not leaving empty-handed. Let's question Manuel. Do I have to... Oh my gosh, I do have to text this. I'm putting in my social security number. I wasn't expecting to have to talk to somebody today. That's not my specialty. I'm a YouTuber. I talk to me and me only. What do you do for work, Manuel? Besides messing with appliances, I dabble in distilling liquors. That's even worse. That is so much worse. Pretty popular in town. My bottles. Recently I made a batch of coffee liqueur that, I gotta admit, turned out too well. Really? Man loves distilling liquors. Okay. What if I just ask him, what's your story? Is that a question? I've never been a religious man. But somehow we could call this divine inspiration. I mean, there's still a lot of magic we don't understand behind being human. Behind human purpose. That's true. What drives us to do anything we do? Is there a secret, an explanation to it? I don't want to just come at him. What was your childhood like, Manuel? Now that I think about it, I can nail down in time when this hunger for technology started. From 1950 to 1955, there was this woman, Dolores, who came to live in town. I was around my 20s, and I had a predisposition to mess with electronics already by that time. But meeting her and her weird prototypes has sparked this lifelong quest in me. I still miss Dolores so much. This has made a deep impact on. Ooh, where is Dolores? You guys are finding out how terrible I am at spelling. Where is Dolores now? Dolores. What a woman! It was with her that I realized I'm asexual. She taught me that word, actually. What a woman. She showed me that nothing can stimulate me. I was speaking deep Spain in the 50s. Decades went by until I heard that word used by someone else. Besides self-discovery, the greatest gift I got from her was a bunch of manuscripts that described technology that was yet to come. I don't know if she worked for the government or some top company, but she knew about personal computers way before they got here. I devoured those manuals again and again. She usually visited me here and spent whole evenings drinking and talking about the possibilities of encoding information and whatnot. Ahead of their time, that woman. She's my biggest inspiration. It was just after she mysteriously vanished from town that I started working on radios. Interesting. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. How does it work? I'll just give you an overview because I have yet to decide if it's safe to share this technology with the world. You know, when you create a telephone to God, that's pretty reasonable response, I'd say. God does not have a corporeal form, but from time to time, they come to our planet to check on things. So communication is not always possible, at least not within the shortwave system I've devised. Maybe with the proper technology, we could even speak to them wherever they go, when they leave for outer space. Basically, this is a multi-radio system that emits and receives from over 300 different frequencies that constantly changes in a huge variety of sinusoidal patterns. If you nail down God's harmonies, you can emit a message and also receive answers. I'm not ready to disclose how this patterns work, though. Seeing this multi-radio system. Interesting. This is really cool. As a concept, this is really fascinating to me. I could write a story about this. This is a good brain food. How long did it take to build? Good sir. That's a tricky question. I'm a radio aficionado myself, and I was trying to come up with ways to encrypt my communications so the government couldn't pick up on my conversations. Okay. As I started working on this polymorphic multi-layer transmission system, I found someone was already working on a system similar to mine. So I decided to try and match his weird sinus gibberish on the airwaves. And it happened to be God. Wasn't even looking for him. Weird how that can happen, isn't it? We could write this off as a miracle, if you may. Maybe it was God who inspired me to work on this to begin with. I discovered God is not as omnipotent as many cultures paint them, but they still have their ways. Interesting. You just accidentally find God? Well, who that boy? Who is God? They're unlike any of us humans imagined so far. That's for sure. God is not a man nor a woman. They did not create us to their image, that's for sure. We are the result of natural selection, that's all. Even God could not have predicted what species would rise to develop culture and enough understanding of the cosmos to even imagine the existence of a God figure. For what I got from our conversations, they don't have a corporeal form. They're more like energy, like dark matter or something. I don't know. We will never be able to see or touch them. Contact is only possible via language. They do roam the cosmos, though, so their presence is not infinite. Sometimes they're not here. That's how it is. How big? Yo. Pickle. What does God say? It's not like God had to tell something to me specifically. I'm the only one who contacted them after all. We had conversations about the cosmos and humanity. God is very impressed with how we've evolved and what we've accomplished with science and technology. We totally broke their expectations. God is also really amused with all of our interpretations of godhood and what we call religion. God is sincerely surprised that humans catched on to the divine so early, and the fact that there must have been some extraneous force that put this all in motion. None of us got it quite right, though. Ha 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 ha. What are you gossiping about, though? You know, what do you and God talk about? What's the cosmic gossip, you know? Dish it to me, sister. Nothing specifically, really. We had conversations about the cosmos and humanity, mostly. Okay, I guess you kind of already answered that in your other one. Ooh, here's a good one. What does God sound like? Distilling liquors has kept me sane for a long time. Not what I asked. It's an art so different to messing with appliances. There's less science to it, and more alchemy, more magic. You master liquor crafting through sheer experimentation. And it's so fun, even when it goes wrong. I'm not a heavy drinker, though. So there's an added pleasure to making liquors when you come up with a nice batch and share it with your neighbors. A bottle of something nice can always put a smile on the townsfolk. Not what I asked. Does God love us? Okay, I didn't ask if he's happy, but that's cool too. I don't know about happy, but I'm sure God is amused with what happened here on Earth. For what I picked up in our conversations, I don't think good or evil are concepts they dwell on. For God, watching humans kill each other makes the same for them what it's like for us to watch a nature documentary. But they are for sure surprised by the level of sentience we've acquired in just 1,000,000 years. Quick, write in the comments something that I should ask this man. Write it now, and then I'll figure it out, okay? Thank you. Have you been talking to God? How long y'all been flirting? I've been talking to God for about 3 years now. First communications were short and lost signal after just about a couple minutes. If we're talking proper, whole evening long conversations, I'd say about half a year. Interesting. Proper conversations, half a year ago. So about 6 months of like actual, like 2.5 years of flirtationship, but 6 months of like actual like nitty gritty type stuff is what you're saying. Who knows about your radio? Is that a question? My parents were really worried about me. They thought I'd developed some kind of obsession. Took them a long time to understand this is what makes my life worth living. Since I was able to make enough money visiting the neighbors and fixing their radios and TVs in the end, they stopped caring. Their only regret is to have died without descendancy? Oh, you don't have kids. Gotcha. What can I say? I didn't come to this world to continue somebody's bloodline. Okay, a little rough and tumble, but I understand. Do you like God? Is God chill? Never been a man of faith, agnostic, or if anything. So making contact with God at first blew out my mind. But a few weeks into it, I feel weird saying this, I expected more from God. They don't feel as omnipotent as every culture describes them. I don't know. If anything, I feel compassion for them. Is there a time limit on this game? Or am I trying to like, ooh, wait, that's something I'm supposed to ask. May I try the radio? I don't know. I still don't trust you. No offense. Let's talk for a bit more. Ask me again later and I may reconsider. Oh, okay, that's what I'm going for. Only let me use the machine and see if you trust me. Okay, that's the end game here. I don't. Is it a weird question to ask what kind of liquors you distill? I don't know. Alcohol. Is it no, it's liqueurs. You distill. Hmm. The thing that shocked me in most podcasts' true nature. Okay, just dodge that question, sure. The role they played in the creation of mankind. It clashes against every myth about the creation of our world. Earth, this planet, already existed before God visited. They only terraformed it. It's no small feat, don't get me wrong. It's just knowing this all wasn't some grand design. God just kick-started life as we know it, but couldn't possibly predict what's become of it. Terraform the Earth? Should I dig deeper into this? Sure, why not? God terraform the Earth? The whole Earth? Must be the most groundbreaking discovery I got out of all our conversations. God didn't create the universe, but they sure did create life on Earth. God has terraforming powers, or should we say capabilities. They picked up a barren rock in the middle of the universe and generated an ecosystem in it by stimulating it electrochemically. And they told me the process takes about 1 million years. And they oversee the early stages of development in our species, and when satisfied, God moves on and leaves nature to run its course. Do you know this land where they started finishing what? Do you know this is the land where they started and finished the process? Galicia is a bit of land in which God first breathed life into when Earth was just a supercontinent. In fact, God forbid me to speak the name of that supercontinent in front of the machine. Said it may trigger some unpredictable developments. Is that how you spell Pangea? Pangea? Earth Control Unit 7.2 entering maintenance mode.
Error.
Cannot access maintenance logs.
Warning. 742Q. File brain. Processor deteriorated. Editing process. Journalist. Trust gauge. True. Print.
Journalist trust level.
Current trust 32%. Ask more personal questions to increase. Please contact God entity and request retrieval. Returning to human handler state machine.
So that is Pangea then. Hey, buddy, if I may ask, are you, like, human? I wish. If I were an android, I wouldn't have these back pains. It would surely make my life easier. Yeah, is not aware of this weird android-like condition. Okay. Who is your wife? Dolores is the only person I ever loved in my life. Oh, was that not your wife that was there earlier? Who is that? Not that we ever had a romance together or anything. I just enjoyed the feeling of loving her in my own way. I never desired her physically, but she was the most beautiful human being my eyes ever laid upon. Also, it's been the only person I've been able to genuinely communicate with. She shared my hunger for messing with technology and was super interesting in my silly experiments. She was super interested in them, I should say. I would have married her if that meant keeping her by my side. Never mustered the courage of offering marriage without sex, though. Dolores. I meant so much for Manuel. I'm sorry, buddy. Asked God about Dolores. I'm sure they could help you. I didn't quite catch that. I'm sorry. Okay, well, fine then. Are you a happy man? I'm gonna confess something to you. I sometimes overplay my condition a bit, just to not have to deal with dumb stuff like what you just said. So, if that's what gets you off, be my guest. I'll just go ahead and ignore you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything. Goodness gracious, dude. Tell me about Dolores. Dolores, my muse. What was Dolores like? My muse. Okay, hold on. Let me just do a little check here of where we're at. Wait, 72% I think it said. Hold on, let me check again. Sorry, dude, this might hurt. 97! Okay, hold on. Is that enough, or do I need to get it to 100%? I don't know. Still don't trust you, no offense. Let's talk for a bit more. Ask me later and maybe reconsider. Okay, I need to get it to 100%. I'm almost at 100% trust with him. What happened to Dolores? You've already said that, but maybe... Okay, well. Okay, I just asked who's your family. Family? Huh. The only family I have left is Remedios. Oh! I'm an only son. Something I'm sure my parents regretted at some point. My father was pretty strict. Or a really smart person. Simple and obstinate. He only ever cared about hunting, making sure I lived by the proper values. Whatever that means. So is that your sister? My mother was cold and distant. Never really knew how to express love. Not even to me nor my father. But I know she cared that we were all healthy and fine. In our own way. I don't really miss them if you ask me. Aw. Pretty picture. Checking in on my man's health. 100%. 100% trust. We made it, baby. May I use the radio? Good sir. Alright. You look like a decent person. Let me power up the machine. Am I about to talk to God? Salutations, human entity. Sup, big old G.O.D.? Man, you'll finally let somebody else communicate with us. Before we started a conversation, we need to know. What do you feel about God? Pretty cool, dude. You know, pretty cool G.O.D. Big OG gangster, bro. Were any of those answers to your liking, bro? What are my feelings about God? I mean, I know my feelings, but like, what do I put in a game? I like them. I see. It's interesting to witness what your own cultures put your minds through. To think about what originated life as you know it in such a way. And speaking about existing in this time and age as a human entity. What do you enjoy the most about the human experience? Oh, easy. Falling in love. The potential downside of that is traumatic, but doing it, real nice thing. Interesting. We wish we could be contained into a human entity's brain processor to be able to experience such things. This seems like God is a computer. In a way, you are privileged. As a means to improve your experience as a human entity, we are going to offer you a gift. In just one word. Only one word. What would you like us to remove from reality? Just name it. Choose one word and we shall remove it from your world. What would you like us to remove from reality? This is bigger than I thought. I want you guys to tell me in the comments what one thing, in one word, you would remove from reality. I was gonna say hate, but I think, personally, I think most of the problems that face humanity stems from human greed. So I'm gonna say I want greed gone. That's a world-shaping choice. Excessive ambition, greed, avarice. Desiring what others have, that insatiable hunger, is a top source of conflict in the world you currently inhabit.
Overriding access to Earth Comms Unit 18.14.1. Entering maintenance mode. Blocking perception of reality. Greed. Parameter deleted from database. Resetting encounter. Reconfiguring world narrative coherence factor. Returning to human handler state machine.
What did just happen? Hold on, what are these notes now? Manuel presents an advanced state of dementia. The incredible machine he claims is made is but a very elaborate and innovative Christmas tree. Just old appliances stuck together forming an amusing display of lights. I'd recommend to not follow up on this story to avoid bringing uncomfortable attention to a senile old man. Remember to buy some bethabtha for Emmerich. What did just happen? Oh, don't worry about it, Mr. Fat. I have more than enough for my article. See if my editors have a spot on the next issue for your story. Please, take care. You're not even staying for lunch. Sorry. Gotta run if I want to make it in time to the airport. Okay. Huh, that is a very interesting concept. Firstly, it kind of it represents God as a computer, and we as God's creations are just computers. Then we're just like cyborgs, essentially. And it seems that God only trusted, I've forgotten his name, but him specifically with the knowledge of his existence, which is why he changed my notes so that it would reflect that he's just a crazy guy. It's good food for thought, I think. It's interesting to conceptualize it in a different way. That's fascinating. If you'd like to have your own interview with the Whisperer, link is in the description to go do just that. And if you like what I do here and you want to make people happy for a living, then please subscribe to the channel. But, of course, as always, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day.